Today I am following in my cousin's footsteps and moving into my car.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Nikki Delventhal.
And I'm cousin Sarah.
And these are my dogs, Rodney and Camper Delventhal. For over 3 years, we lived in a Toyota Prius, but now we're in a 4x4 Sprinter. And we're here to take you along on the wild ride. So fasten up your seatbelts and let's have some fun. Don't forget, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and turn on notifications. We would be so thankful. Good morning, everybody. So if you are new here, I have been either traveling full-time or living in vehicles for over 8 years now, and it has been a wild ride. But one of the things that I wish I did was have more footage of the time that I first moved into my Prius, because honestly, the challenges, how I felt, it was so different from those first videos that I started posting 3 years ago. You know, I don't have a lot of it. Honestly, the first video I posted was me ripping the seats out of my Prius. So at that point, I knew I was a car dweller. I was terrible at making videos, but just like living in a car, I learned as I went, and we are where we are now. So, long story short, cousin Sarah, you may recognize her from one of the many videos we've done with her. She frequently travels with us in the van or whatever rig we're in at the time. And she also works on this channel with us. So although she prefers to be behind the camera and doing most of the editing, she is moving into her RAV4 today, full time. I'm so excited for her, and she has agreed to take us along on that journey and really just share everything with us. So I am so excited, especially because we get to help her out along the way, something I didn't have. So we're gonna share all the tips and tricks, but first, let's get over to Sarah and get a nice tour of her new home.
We're gonna start with the front. In the passenger seat, I have my bag. Everything I need for editing on the road is in here. I've got some snacks, some things that I need easy access to. Up here we have my garage with my shoes and my bed. Here's my bed from the back, so I have my pillows, a blanket, and an extra blanket for when it gets cold. This bin is filled with all of my clothes, and on top I have all my ski clothes. This second bin has all my toiletries. I have my tennis bag on top, and in the garage again, I have my rock climbing gear and my yoga mat. And here's the front.
Sarah is going super minimal, and that is actually something that I would recommend for anyone moving into their car. Is less is better at first than having stuff that you don't end up using and just taking up space. So what she's doing is actually a good idea, because basically you learn what you need by needing it. So for instance, when I first started, I didn't have a power station. I didn't even have window covers. So I would makeshift putting towels in there until I finally got custom cutouts that I created. I learned how much power usage I needed. So basically, she's on the right track. If I was her, I would probably have added a power station, some type of way to store food, whether that's a cooler or a fridge, and I would have something to cook with. I started with a jet boil and then upgraded to a hot plate that I put with my power station. Really good options. Now, Sarah is convinced that she's not going to need these things, so I'm really curious to see what she says in a month or two. It's always chaos up here. All right, you guys. Let's hit the road. Wow, I miss my Prius.
I've been driving a few hours now, so I'm gonna grab a coffee and lunch and charge up all my devices. Alright guys, I made a little mistake. So I ordered sunshades for all of the windows on my car last week, and they came last night and they do not fit in my car. So right now I'm dropping them off at UPS, and tonight we're gonna do a little DIY.
Thank goodness for 4x4 and good tires, because in every single direction there is a massive snowstorm. So yeah, we're just going straight into it. Okay, just like how Sarah's gonna check her surroundings to see if it's safe wherever she goes, we are gonna see if this road is safe to take, and yeah, it's even possible. All right, so really I'm just gonna be checking for depth, rocks, how the area looks, you know, the usual. And the boys are gonna go run around and have some fun. Wow, so the snow is maybe about a foot deep, yikes, and it looks like they may have plowed the road, so let's check it out. So the center of this road has kind of packed up like ice, so one thing I am slightly concerned about is if I do try to make it down, is the center gonna be so high that it kind of scratches up the van, but I guess we'll see. This is the spot that we would try to camp, so let's see if we can make it in here. Yeah, the snow comes all the way up to my calf. All right, parking lot it is. Hopefully no one kicks us out tonight. Good job.
Now that I dropped off my package, I'm going to go find a place to sleep for the night.
All right, I guess we're just gonna make this home for the evening. There are no parking overnight signs, and I do know that all up and down this dirt road, you are allowed to dispersed camp for free legally, so I'm not too worried, but this is one of the first times that I'm not 100% sure if we're allowed to park here. So I guess we'll see tonight if somebody comes a knocking. I don't know. But let's hope not. Now on the topic of camping overnight, let's talk about places you can legally camp and safely when you live in a vehicle. Before I started getting pretty adventurous and wild camping and going off-grid a lot, I did mostly stick to places that I felt safe. That included Walmarts that allowed it, rest areas, campgrounds, RV parks. Until I really got comfortable, I wanted to go places that I just 100% knew would work out. I know a lot of people who urban stealth camp on residential streets, and even to this day, I'm still not comfortable with it. I don't know if I ever will be unless I know my friends live there or I really know the area. But I will say, especially at first, I feel like I was the truck stop queen. Mostly because I think truck drivers get a really bad rep, but they are some of the nicest people, and if something did happen, I know that somebody would hop in and make sure I was okay, but there's 24/7 people and lights, there's showers. It just feels like a really safe place to go. And I was traveling a ton, so it was always on my route. And one thing to remember, if you are gonna stay at a truck stop, do not take up the truck area. Another thing I'll do is I'll also Google or look up the crime rate in the areas I am. That just really helps me feel safe and just know what the risk is. But honestly, my biggest pointer is just be aware of your surroundings. Now, after all this time on the road, I've gotten very comfortable with what I'm doing, where I'm staying. So I do a crazy amount of wild camping and I get super off the beaten path. I even added lockers and 4x4 to this van just to make sure I could do so safely. Now, how I know if I can legally park where I'm going, I will look up where the land is, who owns it, and the rules and regulations around there. Usually there will be websites with the Park Service or BLM them, or there will be designated campgrounds with dispersed camping. Often you can only stay there if there's a fire ring, and you'll have to go pretty far. So really it's just about researching the area and getting to know it and building the confidence. And also understanding that sometimes it's better to pay a little bit than to be unsafe. So sometimes I will take out of that savings that I have just to make sure that I'm comfortable and we have all the things that we need. If you guys do have any questions about camping or anything in general, especially this topic, definitely feel free to leave it in the comments. We'll address it at a later date or in the comments. But on that note, why don't we get back to Sarah and see where she ended up tonight?
Geez, lady, can I take a nap now?
Before starting my drive this morning, I researched the area I would be staying in for the night. I found a Love's that had great reviews. I also told Nikki my plan, and she agreed it would be a safe place to stay. So because I don't have sunshades, I'm going to use black plastic bags to put on all my windows. So in my toiletry bag, I'm getting out scissors because I'm going to cut 2 little pieces for the small windows in the back. Now everything is completely covered up. It's so dark that if I turn the light off, here you go.
What is this crap?
I guess I need a source of power after all. This will work for now. All right, now that I'm ready for bed, I'm gonna give Nicole a call.
Hey!
Hi.
Camper and Rodney miss you.
Hi, Camper. Hi, Rodney.
We took to Patreon and Instagram, and so many people have so many questions for you. It's really cute.
Okay.
Can we ask them?
Yeah.
The first one was just, how are you feeling your first day in your car?
It's fun so far. I did a 7-hour drive today, which was a lot, but now that I'm sleeping in here, I'm excited. I thought I was going to be a little bit nervous, but actually I'm not that scared. So that's
I love that.
Okay, a lot of people want to know why you moved into your car and what inspired you to do it.
I moved into my car because I just graduated, so I have the next few months to travel and I don't have to be in a certain area. And what inspired me to move into my car is my older cousin.
Aww. Camper?
And Camper. They want to know when you're going to get a puppy.
Not in here. I don't know how you and Camper stayed in a Prius. I was actually thinking that because this car is even bigger than the Prius. I cannot imagine having a dog in here.
It was really, really challenging. I think when Camper moved in was when I finally made the switch, and I was like, yes, I need a new vehicle, like a much bigger vehicle.
Yeah, this is really good sizing because I'm only 5 feet, but if I had anyone else in here who was any taller, I don't think I could do it.
Well, you're on your way this way, and maybe we'll come find you, and we'll both sleep in the RAV4.
No, I just said no one else is allowed in here.
Come on, it'll be fun.
Fine, you're an exception. You can come in.
That's so funny.
All right, text us before bed and let us know how the night went.
I will. Good night. Love you.
Bye. Sarah's my background.
So it's getting a little chilly here. I'm gonna put on some warmer socks. It just dropped below 40 degrees. All right, now it's time to watch TV and go to sleep. Oh, by the way, got a little milkshake for dinner. Whoops. First night in a van dinner, I guess. Good night, everybody. Look at that. Let's heat up the car a little bit.
Good morning, you guys. So we had a great night's sleep. We even got a little bit of snow. No one came knocking. I'm not sure if that's because of the impending snowstorm, but I am not mad about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will all see you next week. Have a good one.